What's up, hello? I'm Jamera, and welcome to today's tarot forecast, where we are talking about inviting change and different ways that you can invite and embrace change into your life, your career, your whatever you're here reflecting about. So this first card that I am going to draw is going to represent the change that we are needing to make or needing to invite into our life, or what change is being invited into our life, whether we are prepared for it or not. So let's see what comes out. All right, we had a card, like always, fall on the floor. I think every one of my readings, a card falls on the floor. So let me get it. So the card that we have representing the change that is being invited into our life is the Four of Wands. And the Four of Wands, the first thing that came up was stability. What? Because anytime we have a four, we can think of foundations. You need four posts to make a house, four corners in a square, and squares can be, well, triangles sometimes a little bit more stable depending on what you're building. But so just building a foundation. So maybe a change that is coming into your life, or that is asking to be invited into your life, is thinking about how you are building your foundation, whether it be for your career, for your love life, for your entrepreneurship journey, anything like that. How are you building these foundations? How are you maintaining these foundations? Especially, how are these foundations bringing you joy, bringing you exuberance, bringing you abundance? Sometimes the Four of Wands can be associated with marriage or with partnership. Especially if you look at these people, they could potentially have just gone through the altar and they're facing the audience at a wedding, and you know how they like celebrate and then they walk down the aisle. I mean, that could be, so this could be, what changes are you making in your life to make sure you do have that like union of joy, that you are bringing in joy and celebration. And I keep saying joy because this is a yellow card, and usually anytime you see yellow in a tarot deck, that generally represents positivity, a positive omen, joy, fun, success, satisfaction, things like that. So how are you inviting that into your life right now? Or maybe evaluating if you're getting maybe a little bit too lost in the joy or too lost in the fun. How can you build a more solid foundation? Because even if you think about a marriage, you're going to need a solid foundation for a marriage in order for it to grow and survive and to continue to build throughout the years. So that is a change that this card potentially is representing, like some kind of solid foundation. How are you building and maintaining that in your life? So the next card that we'll draw is going to represent the challenge, because anytime we invite change, it can be, even if it's a planned change that you're very open to, there are always challenges that are coming your way that you will face. That is the human experience. So let's see what challenges. So the first card that fell out is the Star. And we'll see. I feel like maybe one more, maybe not. All right, two more fell out. Okay. So the first card we have is the Star, that represents any challenges. So one challenge that comes with the Star is starting over. The Star in the story of the tarot comes right after the Tower, and the Tower is a big oh no moment, a big life-changing strike of lightning to a foundation, which is really interesting because the invitation is building a foundation. So maybe you have recently experienced some type of tower moment, some type of everything needs to change, everything is falling apart, whether that be good or bad. Like, the tower doesn't always necessarily need to mean like an omen for bad or unexpected or terrible. It's just unexpected, whether it's planned or not, or good or bad. It's really up to your situation. But it's interesting with the Four of Wands, maybe you did experience a tower moment, and the change that's being invited is to reevaluate how you are building that foundation that is different from the tower moment you just had, because the tower, has a foundation, but the lightning strikes it. So really it's like kind of only rubble left over. And so maybe a challenge you're facing is, how do you rebuild yourself? Because the Star is, she's naked, all her clothes burned up in the fire from the lightning strike in the tower. She's pouring water onto land. She's re-nourishing herself. She's re-nourishing her surroundings, rebuilding. And also, water in the tarot represents emotions. So she's like taking her emotions from her inner world and bringing them out into her reality. And anytime we have a tower moment, And anytime we do have a challenge, there is like a reconciliation we need to make with the what's going on internally and what is true for us externally. So that is one challenge is balancing that and reconciling that. One thing the star tells us is that it's okay to take your time and it's okay to actually feel. The star is generally represented by Aquarius, and Aquarius sometimes, because they're an air sign, they can be quick to move on. Aquarians can be very quick, and especially if you have like a moon placement or something in Aquarius, Mercury, it doesn't matter, but like they can tend to intellectualize their emotions instead of actually stopping and feeling them. So that could also be another challenge, and just a reminder of like, it's okay to feel safe in embodying your emotions, and you're going to need to embody your emotions and bring them out in order to fully step into a place where you can build something new without there being like that stickiness or that fear from what has happened in the past. So the two other cards that have fallen out were the Emperor, and then we also have the Nine of Wands in reverse. And this is really interesting because the Emperor represents, to me, sometimes hard work. There's a lot of hard work that it takes to rule a kingdom. There's a lot of hard work it can take to stay on top to get to be the king. But then the Nine of Wands, usually upright, does mean hard work also, or like being tired of constantly being like beaten and battered, and you're so close to the end, you're so close to the 10 of Wands that like it's kind of like a make or break. It's kind of like I made it, I just have a few more steps. And so when you're reevaluating the foundation that you want to build, evaluating it in a way so that isn't so hard. So one challenge could be, embodying your emotions as well as recreating this foundation in a way that feels easy, in a way that you don't feel like you're being beaten up the whole time. You're not exhausted, you're not broken, you're not surrounded by all of these different wands, which can represent ideas and passions and opinions. Like you're not surrounded by all these different wands and ideas and opinions and ways of doing things in order to get to this emperor state. And the other thing about the emperor, ruled by Aries, is Aries can be a pioneer, they can be a warrior, but they can get stuck in that impulsivity of a warrior, and sometimes an iron fist of it's my way or it's no way. And so with this emperor being here, I feel like it's just a reminder that as you face these challenges, to stick to your guns, because that is what an Aries is going to do. They're going to stick to their own way of thinking and way of being, because that's how they're here to be the pioneer. But so to stick to your guns, but don't be so rigid. Don't be so rigid in that, and open up space for there to be less work, so then you can make some type of playful, abundant foundation for yourself. So the next card we're drawing is any surprise. Oh, interesting. The 10 of Wands just flew out. So interesting, the 10 of, because it flew out so quickly, the 10 of Wands can also denote really hard work. I mean, if you look at this person, they're like lifting all these wands. It looks like a lot of effort, but it looks like they're so close to the finish line, especially you're at 10 in the tarot, one ace through 10, you're at the end of, the numerological. Ooh, is that a word? I don't think so. Journey. So maybe one surprise, because it flew out so quickly, is that instead of hard work, it's like success. I'm just like, I feel like he's so close to the end. You can see the city in the background, or like the castle. So, interesting. And we were talking about the tower earlier. The tower is the tower of a castle being struck by lightning. And we're talking about building a new foundation. So with this castle in the background, it's like you're actually going to you're going to very quickly get to a new castle, to a new big, um, beautiful building that is built from this really simple structure that doesn't feel like work, that doesn't feel like you're being beaten down and you can't really progress forward. So maybe one surprise is how quickly this metabolizes for you, or manifests for you, or is created this new foundation that brings you all of this joy and abundance. Like happen so quickly you like don't even know what to do. So that's one thing I'm seeing with the 10 of Wands. So these next cards that I'm going to draw are numerology cards. They're just some inspirational sayings that maybe you can remind yourself, especially while you are in the challenges of the star. Challenges of the star, challenges of embodying your emotions, feeling like, oh, I got to start over again, and this might take forever. I feel like I just saw a card flip over. I did. It's right here. Interesting. We have 55. I am evolving. Nope. Substantial change is in your future. Embrace the change, a need to overcome your insecurities and let go of your fears. And that is what I was saying earlier, is like there can be a lot of fear in starting over, and like, yeah, feeling like, or insecure because you have to start over and you don't want to start over and it's going to be so much work and things like that. But change is quickly coming your way. Substantial change. Interesting. So I am evolving. So just remember and reflect on that as you are overcoming these challenges, as you are building your new foundation. And then the last card I'll draw are a begin oracle journey card. They have meditation sometimes and some other affirmations to remember on your journey as you are inviting change and working with change in your life. So 2 fell on the ground and 1 flipped over in the deck, but I will just take the 2 that fell on the ground. So we have creation and we have offering. And it's really interesting. I'm just looking at creation. And to me, this owl is looking at this egg with like kind of curiosity, because you especially don't know what's going to emerge from the egg. It'll definitely be an owl. Well, I mean, it might not definitely. Maybe this owl just found this egg, but I'm feeling like, what's going to hatch from this egg is an owl, but it's going to be its own owl. It's going to look different from its parents. It might look different from the other owls, Maybe all the owls are white and this owl happens to be brown or gray or purple or something, you know what I mean? And that also is true for when you build a new foundation. Even if you base it on your old one, it's still going to look different. It's still going to have its own quirks and personalities. So I will read what is in the book for this one. All right. Creation. Culmination of work, giving birth, feeling grounded, tranquil haze, cosmic guides, and constellation are some of the keywords for this. Remove yourself from the noise of life and silently observe yourself and your surroundings. Oh, interesting. With this, I'm going to put the star up here too, because the star is all about observing your surroundings, especially removing yourself from all the noise that happened in the tower. Listen carefully to your inner voice and notice how easy it is to have clarity when you do. Al has come to you to ask you to create, and in order to create, you need to spend some time going within. As Al guides you, you'll have access to life's magic. Keep your feet on the ground and let your mind go where it needs to. Remember that the more firmly you're grounded, the higher and further you can go. The more stable your foundation is, the higher and further you can go. Owl brings transition and change, and this particular change is both internal and external. Like the star, both pouring the water from the lake onto the earth, bringing the internal out to the external. Owl helps you uncover your hidden potential and untapped energies. Use these gifts to bring something new into reality. You have access to things beyond the grasp of most right now, and it's the perfect time to channel that energy into something tangible. As you shift internally, you'll give birth to an external change. There are no parameters. There's only what feels intuitively right for you. The affirmation is, I see the world through fresh eyes. I choose to create. The prompt is, spend 15 minutes writing every day for 1 week. Don't have any goals or agendas when you do. Just sit there and write whatever comes to mind. And I don't know if you have ever used the Artist Way book. I've never used the Artist Way. I've never read the Artist Way, but I have heard of morning pages. It's where like every morning you get up and you write like 3 pages, like stream of consciousness, no thinking, or maybe it's like you spend 5 minutes or something like that. So that could potentially be a really helpful way to channel, to help embody your emotions, like the star card, and channel what types of foundations you really want to build and what types of change is being invited into your life. The next card we have is Offering. The last and final card we have is Offering, and I will read this from the book. So, offering, life cycles, reinvention, building a new foundation, complexity, healing, spirituality, and hidden psychic. Whatever your spiritual beliefs, there are a few things most people can agree about. One of these is a primordial life force energy. There is something from which we've all come from, and that energy is still within us. Oftentimes, you'll hear this called chi. If offering has come into your hands, your chi slash spirit slash energy source is asking for you to acknowledge and nourish it in pouring the water on the earth. On this card, you'll notice candles lit under the dragon. Think of the dragon as the guardian of your chi, and it's now time to give her an offering. In doing so, you bless yourself. The offering is a way to give your divine self reverence. The question you should ask yourself is, how can you honor that? In what ways do you connect with your spirit in a large sense, and then the spirit within you? An easy way to start is to place your hands on your belly, close your eyes, and take a few deep breaths. It is often said that your primordial chi resides deep in your belly. Imagine breathing new life into that area and practice this daily for the next week. Your chi is closely tied to the elements, so you want to incorporate them into your offering. This could be as simple as turning to the 4 different directions and offering a silent thank you. Give gratitude for your body, your spirit, and your entire being, and give thanks for everything that has contributed to your existence. Spirituality is complex and different for everyone, and is important to explore what makes sense and speaks to you. The affirmation is, I am grateful for this moment. So I'm so excited for this change that is being invited into your life. I would love to know in the comments, what is the change? How are you nourishing yourself? What offerings are you making? I'm going to light a candle, and I'm also going to go into the backyard and north, south, east, west, place a little offering. I sometimes will throw cornmeal into the earth. Sometimes I'll throw salt. Sometimes I'll throw water. I've given a piece of cake to a tree before. Whatever, if you're doing anything like that, definitely leave it in the comments. Let me know how this reading resonated. If you like the video, please like the video and subscribe. It helps other people find the channel and other people get this guidance. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.